Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session of this. That is the last live streaming day of IndieX 2021. I have the pleasure of having another one of our 50 amazing finalists. In this case, it's Affectus from Affectus Games. And let's say hello to one of its creators, Valentin Capordin. How are you, Valentin?
Hello, nice to meet you. I'm fine, and you? How are you?
I'm fine. I'm tired. In this moment, I don't know if I'm too exhausted and I want actually in the X to end, or if I am already missing this amazing days of talking with developers and playing awesome games and speaking about how the challenges that the developers had in creating these games. I think I'm more pending to the second one. I think I'm already missing this. So yeah, Vanta, how many people in this moment is are working in Affectus? Are you doing it by yourself, or do you have a team with you?
Uh, yeah, I'm basically doing everything by myself, except that I'm working with a composer because I'm not a musician, and I'm working with Kevin Colomba, which is doing an amazing work on the soundtrack, and but everything else is done by me alone.
This is something curious about this year's edition. We got lots and lots of solo developers, which
Yeah.
is an amazing endeavor. Nowadays, when you show Affectus, for example, if I would show to a regular person Affectus, and I would say, "So this is a work of a single person." Okay, you are in this moment outsourcing your music, but still, I think the majority of the regular uh, people that I would say this wouldn't believe that one person alone would be creating such an amazing game. Do you think
Uh,
we evolved a lot since 15 years ago? Now it's possible for a
yeah.
single person somewhere in you told me you are in southeastern France to be uh, in your home developing a game with this quality by himself. Maybe 15 years ago this wasn't possible.
No, I think first, thank you. I accept the compliment. But I think the tools nowadays help us a lot to build things like that. I'm making the game with the Unity engine,
Hmm.
and I'm sure other developers with Unreal feel the same. The tools today let us pretty much make a small game in a day if we want. But a bigger game, of course, takes a lot of time. But the with the Unity Asset Store, you can buy some tools that can help you making some aspects of the game that would take so much time if we would have to do it all by ourselves. So. Yeah, I think 15 years ago, the guys making games alone were real geniuses. But now with a little bit of work and training, you can build things by yourself.
Are you a programmer? Does your background is in
Yeah.
programming or?
Yeah, my background is in programming, uh, it was easier for me on the technical side to learn Unity, how to make the game. Uh, where I lack some competencies are on the art side. So uh, I have to learn softwares like Blender or things like that to make 3D models, and it's a bit harder for me. But on the development side, I have no problem.
If I recall, you're aiming for the 2022 release for Affectus. In this moment,
Yes.
you're self-publishing. Are you still looking for, um,
Yeah.
yeah, any publisher or any investor in
Yeah.
for your game?
Um, I was not very active on this part because I wanted to have uh, a good demo to show to publishers, but I will speed up on this part beginning of 2022. I will look for a publisher actively or an investor so I can make the game really better and as I imagined it.
Are you in this moment developing Affectus as a full-time job, or are you juggling
Yeah.
with? Yeah.
Yeah, yes, I put aside some money to make this full time. So
Did you start before, during, yeah, not after because it has, didn't end. Did you start developing Affectus before or during the pandemic?
actually, I started just during at the beginning. I started learning about game dev in January 2020.
Yeah. 2020,
2020.
so 10 years ago.
2020,
Because
yeah.
it looks like 10 years ago.
No, it was really at the beginning, but it was just a phase where I was learning game devs, the tools, the real development of Affectus started in October 2020.
Okay. So
So it's yeah, me 1 year ago
be-
approximately.
before we dive into Affectus, do you want to pre-describe what our watchers can expect from Affectus? What is Affectus?
Yeah, so Affectus is um, it's a bit of a mix between a classic and modern action RPG.
Hmm.
It's made in 3D, but you play like in a 2D game. So it's a side-scroller game. It's a science fiction game in a world where all the positive emotions have vanished, and the only thing that can restore those emotions are a drug called Affectus. Okay, and you will learn what happened to this world, and it was a virus that destroyed all those emotions. And as a Jax, the main character, you wake up with no memories, and you have to find out what happened to you. And there will be I won't spoil anything, but there will be a lot of plot twists. Maybe the memory lost is not the main story here. So.
So let's dive into Affectus.
Yeah.
In this moment, if I recall, the demo is live on your Steam page. So I
Yes.
believe whoever gets curious about Affectus, please
Yeah.
go wishlist and follow the game on Steam. Uh,
And
I don't know if
sorry.
there's anyone on the team that could paste the URL on our chat, or if anyone present at this moment that could paste the URL, it's great, so that people could go instantly wishlist and follow Affectus. So in this
Thank-
moment, this build I'm playing is the build that we have available at Steam, and
Yeah,
this is
and
one.
it's a very early alpha demo. Since I published it in June for the Steam Next Fest, I got a lot of work on improving things, but it's not released yet. So it will be in the next few months.
So your decision of going on a more low poly art direction, uh, was this your idea of since the beginning?
Um, Actually, in the very beginning, I wanted this game to be a pixel art game. So it was not at all like that. And after a lot of thoughts, um, I wanted to make something a little bit different because I wanted a 2D gameplay, but with a very cinematographic feeling.
Yeah.
So that's why I went for a mix between 3D and a 2D gameplay, and that allows me, like you see in the first cutscene, that I can have camera work like in a 3D game and smoothly transition to 2D gameplay. And for the low poly art style, it was more a convenience for me because, like I said, I'm not a 3D artist,
Mm-hmm.
so it would be easier for me to create and find also and buy some assets.
Guys, thank you for the URL on our chat.
Thank you.
Valenta, usually there's something I say to my illustration students, which is play to your strengths. And I understand why you chose the low poly art direction, but I think it really fits. For example, one of this year's finalists, you probably know the game. Uh, they were finalists last year when they released Cloudpunk. This year they released the DLC and they got finalists at IndieX 2021. And I think it was one of those moments in 2019 when I watched the game being teased, that I noticed that you could create a nice cyberpunk environment with, in that case, with a voxel approach, and in your case, as everyone can see, with a low poly approach. So yeah, pretty good.
I guess it's the I have to put an emphasis on the feeling and the atmosphere to match the counterbalance the low poly style.
And there's something that really works since you have this bright LED lights in both in the characters, in the environment. When you use this fog filters, everything stands out. So it's a good way to counterbalance everything. How has been the reception of Affectus? What are people giving as a feedback when they play your demo?
Um, I before the demo and also during the demo, I did a lot of playtesting. So I had the chance to get a lot of feedbacks from players, and mainly it's pretty much what we just talked about. The main point that the people like is the atmosphere, the setup, the story, the characters, and there was a little bit of they advise me a lot to improve the gameplay. You will see a little bit later. So that's why the last few months I put an emphasis on improving the gameplay. So you'll see later, but all the stealth actions and the fights will be improved. So I can please more people, if I can say it like that.
We just have Seixas asking in our chat if the planned release you're aiming to next year. Are you going to release in early access or full release? What's your idea for 2022?
I don't. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think I will release it in early access because it's a game where the story is really important. So even if I plan to have a branching scenario with multiple endings, it won't be so interesting to replay the game 10 times or 20 times. Once you finished it 2 times or 3 times to get the 3 endings, it's not a game that you will play. I think it's not a game with a lot of replayability. So early access may be a little bit hurting for the game. So I still don't know.
Did you already finish writing all the script?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the story is written until the end with the 3 endings.
How long is the script in this moment? Do you have any idea?
The script.
Yeah.
I don't remember the number, but you can expect the game to be 4 hours long for the main story.
Okay.
And to have maybe 2 hours of side quests too. So the side quests are already written too.
I think I already asked this today, and I was a viewer. It was Gonzalo who was doing that stream, but I have to ask again. Are you a fan of the Shadowrun universe? Did you play it, especially the pen and paper RPG?
Not the pen and paper RPG. I played the Shadowrun Hong Kong on PC, and I really loved the atmosphere and the dialogues and everything. So it kind of inspired me on the dialogue part, on the way to have choices you can make and to be free to do your missions and things like that.
So in this Affectus happens in a fictional city, or is it a future
Yeah.
version of a known city?
No, it's a totally fictional city. The city is called Tribus,
Okay.
and you can imagine a multi-layered city where, like we see right now, we are at the bottom of the city. It's the
Mm-hmm.
lower level, and on top of that, you have two levels. On the bottom one, of course, is the it's underground. You don't
Yeah.
see lights. All the poor peoples and lives here. And the level on top of that is the level where all the workers, the white collars are.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And of course, the top one, which can see the lights of the sun, is the where all the rich people is and all the big corporations lives. So it was inspired by multiple things. Um, one of my inspiration was the fifth element, the city
Yeah.
in the fifth element. So it's not exactly like Tribus, but it's a really high city with and the bottom it's really dark and you don't see the light and at the top you see the sun.
Sessions is asking, have you thought about adding voice acting? Do you think finding
Yes.
a publisher could help you
Yeah.
achieve that?
Yeah. It's something that I will be able to do only if I have a publisher
Yeah.
because it's very expensive for me because I'm working alone on the game with my own funds. But of course, if I can have a voiceover, is the first option and that I will take once I find a publisher.
Yes, it is indeed a great reference. It's a Luc Besson movie, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I love that movie. And lastly, I also it was not a reference, but I was pleased to see pretty much this kind of city in The Ascent. I don't know if you know that game
No. Sorry.
that came up recently. It's a top-down cyberpunk action game.
That was
So
also released on Xbox Game Pass, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and it's also an underground city with multiple layers. So I was kind of pleased to see another concept like that in a pretty big game.
From what I recall from the description of the game, actually, and also from playing it when we were evaluating the games, the Affectus is has a huge stealth layer, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and right now in the on the stream you can see it's kind of the tutorial. It's a virtual reality tutorial for the game where you learn how uh, to do the stealth mechanics, the takedown, and how to avoid enemy, and also how to use the weapons. So in the game missions are I imagine to be played as both ways. It can be either shooting everyone or infiltrating without killing any enemy. So the stealth part is really important if you want it to be. So it's your choice as a gamer to be stealthy. And as a character in the game, if you choose not to kill enemies, your karma level will be high.
Like
And
Deus
if you
Ex?
choose to, sorry,
Like Deus Ex?
yeah, kind of like Deus Ex. And uh, actually, on the jacket of the character, you can see a blue light.
Yeah.
Uh, and but it's not as blue as on the beginning because I didn't see, but I think you killed someone. I don't remember. But the light changes as your karma goes down or up. So if
Oh.
you kill somebody, the lights will go more orangey red. And if you spare the enemies, the light will be blue. And this karma will change the story. Some things in the scenario in the story will be different if you were a bad person or a good person.
Okay. Well, that's bold to do. If I was already saying that developing a game like this by yourself is bold, creating some sort of alignment and reaction from the environment around you is even bolder. So yeah. Whoa. Okay.
And
So.
just one more thing about that being a bad person doesn't mean you will definitely get the bad ending for
Mm,
the game. It just means that getting a good ending maybe will be harder to get if your actions during the whole story were bad.
okay. So this robot doesn't allow me to.
No,
I think I'll have to go up.
you'll have to find another way. And to illustrate the choices that I was talking about, in the final version of this mission, you will be able to convince the guard to let you in the in the pharmacy. So if you convince him, you will be able to enter the pharmacy on the public side and deliver your package without causing any trouble. But if you can't convince him, you'll have to find a way to infiltrate, and it will be harder because you have to pass the guards and the cameras, the security, and everything. So all the missions are thought to be done differently, either by talking, either by infiltrating, or by killing everyone. Basically, it's your choice.
Okay, that's. Oh, I shouldn't have. Okay, I have a crowbar. I will return there to open. No. Damn. I'm still not.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, I'm still not used
Oh,
to the to the jumping distance. I think
yeah,
I jumped
and
too soon.
that's something that I tweaked a bit in the for the future version, because a lot of players had a hard time to jump across this
Oh, so
this building,
I'm
so
not the
it
only
will
one.
be a little bit easier to
Okay.
do.
But I think I. Let me check my. Okay. Yeah, it saved it before. It's locked. I want to go there, pick this up, energy drink. Yeah. I
And
won't go down.
also, I was working on I don't know if you know the term, the coyote jump, where you have a little extra millisecond before falling to make your jump, so it's a little bit less uh, to avoid some frustration to miss your jump.
Let's check if I have limited vision. Okay. Oh yeah, you have motion sensors for the light. Ah. Okay. So I think he's no. I thought he was suspecting anything. Sorry. Nothing personal. Oop. So. Okay. Okay. Is he coming? Yeah. Oh. Okay, he stopped there. But hi. So let's check. Uh, hmm. This is March 2020, 2020, 2237. Never forget. 18th of March. Is this your birthday?
No,
Okay.
it's meant for another thing.
Okay. Not here. Not here. Okay. Oh, elevator key. Okay, let's go there now. This one only goes to to the 4th floor.
So here, it's the same thing. You add two ways to unlock the
elevator?
elevator.
Okay.
Either you knock down the guard, which gives you a key, or you could also solve the little puzzle and unlock the computer, which is in a room at the beginning of the floor. And with the date you see on the calendar, you can unlock the computer and unlock the elevator.
Are you going to add more difficulty to the AI so that they don't forget us
Yeah,
when? Yeah.
yeah. The AI for now is pretty basic, and I will improve this a lot because it was what I was saying earlier. The gameplay, the stealth gameplay and the fight gameplay needs to be improved in order to be more enjoyable. So and challenging also.
Is there any? You were saying that there is a different reaction from characters if your light is more blue or more red. Are you going to do the same thing for hosting weapons or not?
I don't know yet for that part. But for example, if on this mission you don't kill anyone, and the the pharmacist here will notice that you didn't kill anyone, so he will answer differently to you. Actually, you can destroy the cameras too if you want.
Oh, I can.
Yeah.
Nice. I will try it just for. Nice. Okay. That's cool. But I think I can't kill the pharmacist because it looks like he has a barrier.
Yeah,
Here.
no, you can't.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I could make it a feature, you know, maybe some sort of shield.
Let me go
But
there.
you are the first one who wants to kill the pharmacist. What's that?
I didn't want to. I was just checking what kind of defenses he has because there's a virus around, and even
Yeah,
in real life everybody has this acrylic shields.
yeah,
So I was worrying for him because some bad person can try to rob him. Luckily, he has an energy shield
yeah.
to protect him. So okay, I will have to leave the area and deliver the package to Bones. And yeah, these guards are still here. They are all sleeping because I'm not a killer.
Yeah.
I think I haven't killed anyone.
I think you can check that on the objective screen. If you press the pause button,
Yeah.
you can go on your objective and you see that you pass successfully the do not kill any guards optional
Yeah.
subquest. So you gain an extra experience point for that.
Are you thinking about doing the game? You can entirely do it without killing a single.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay.
I honestly don't know if I will be able to until the very end, but it's really a main objective for me. Like I said earlier, to have multiple ways to do the missions, and you can choose to be a good person and not kill anyone, even if the people in front of you are bad persons. So
I
it will be
recall, I never tried because I think it was really hard to achieve, that someone broke one of the Deus Ex games without killing anyone, not even the
yeah,
bosses.
I think it's possible. I never did it myself also because it's very hard, but it's possible.
Hmm. Can you tell us again the name of the composer who is doing the music?
Yeah, it's Kevin Colombin, which is a French composer, and he's doing all the music in the game. So it will be a 100% original soundtrack for the game.
Uh, in this moment, can I check? I leveled until level 3. Do I have any information of what
No, not
this?
yet.
Not yet. What's your
Not
idea about
yet.
this? Like a tech tree or
Um,
something?
Yeah, the idea will be that the implants, like you see right now on the screen, you were on the implant screen, but it's empty for now.
Yeah.
The implants you can install to improve your skills will be accessible with a certain amount of experience. So the more you get experience, the more you get side missions, the quicker you can buy and install new implants. So having new skills to ease up your missions. And of course also your health level, your health maximum levels will increase with your experience.
I think I just reached the end of the demo, so I was
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
walking around to see the ambient again because it's really good. You were telling about this is a multi-layered city.
Yeah.
Uh, are we going to explore the higher levels?
Yeah. It's following the world you are seeing right now is like can be considered as an open world. So for the demo, it's not because it's quite linear, just to show the concept. But you will be able to navigate through the city and get your missions. And as the main story evolves, you will access the second level, and by the end of the game, you will access the third level. But I won't tell much more about that. But you will be able to explore the whole city.
You already have some small hints. For example, that guy that resembles a monk, when he tells a, tells us about the EDS, this
Yeah,
emotional device, he already says that it's something really expensive. So it, you obviously don't belong to this under level.
exactly,
Yeah, because people are too
exactly.
poor to be able to buy one of these.
Yeah, that's when you are interested because all these dialogues are optional. You can have some hints about the world and the story, and maybe even about you. So uh, you can learn a lot by talking with NPCs.
So there are those kinds players that want only the action part or the platforming part.
Yeah.
They might be able to do it, but if you really want to dig into all the layers of Affectus, you can talk to everyone possible and check everything. That's the idea.
Yeah, the idea. And actually, the beginning of the game will also be a little bit changed because right now, you know, there is a long period where you just walk, talk with people
Yeah.
before you get really into the action. In the final version, you will directly be uh, put in charge, and you will need to get out of the dark alley by yourself, maybe avoid some muggers, and so the people who likes the action will have a taste directly. And I will make all those big dialogues like in the ramen shop, something that is totally optional. If you find by yourself the cyberstop and you fight bones by yourself, it's okay. The dialogue will be a little bit different because you didn't come from the advice of Merrick, but I will give a little bit more freedom to the player, and so it can be quicker also to get to the missions and the actions and action stuff.
But did you get any feedback on that beginning? Was there people
Yeah,
that were saying like, "Oh, so this is too slow for me"? Was it?
yeah, it's 50-50. The half of testers liked to be immersed in the story, but the other half really liked the game, the ambience, atmosphere, but really wanted to have some actions. So to please both, uh, you will be able to enjoy the dialogue, the ambience, if you want. And if you want to speed up things and go directly to the action, you will be able to.
But there will be. Are you thinking of, for example, imagine there are some optional locations that you don't have interactive because nobody told you about it. Is this going to happen?
Mm. Yeah, of course. If you don't talk to NPCs, there will be I won't say a lot, but there will be missions, side missions that you won't be able to do, and those missions will happen in certain places that you won't be able to explore if you don't do the if you don't talk to the NPC that gave you the mission.
We have some comments. One obviously more humoristic. He was saying, "People seem quite at ease for a guy shooting a gun in the middle of the street. This must be America then."
Yeah, yeah. The feature is not done yet,
Yeah.
but I plan to have some reaction
Yeah, yeah.
uh, in the crowd.
We know he was kidding. He was just his hit at America.
Yeah.
You bad Cheerio. We also have Sesha saying just some feedback from what I saw here. I really like the potential of this game. I think it could be very beneficial to launch in early access. The income it might generate would surely help getting voiceover, which in my opinion would give more life to the game. In case you can't find a good publisher, okay, besides that, some improvements on mechanics and enemy AI, but from what I heard, you are already working on that. Congrats for the game. I already had it wishlisted before. Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's really true. I will ask myself. I will think about it for the early access. I think I would prefer the way of doing this with a publisher to finance the whole project,
Yeah.
finding a publisher that believes in the project and finance the voiceover. But if I can't find it, I may have to go through the early access phase.
Yeah. The ambience is really catches you almost instantly, Sessions. It's a fact that you. I think you need only a few seconds to get pulled into Affectus because it's a really strong game visually. Also, the music is
Thank
great.
you.
The music really helps because it's kind of somber,
Mm-hmm.
in a way like reminds you of a somber, calmer retrowave almost. Like it sounds cybernetic, but at the same time, really sad. So I'm curious to know who is Jax after all.
Yeah. And without any spoiler, because it will happen very soon in the game, you will recover your memory very fast.
Okay.
So the whole story is not how to get back my memory, what happened to me. It's we are in a cyberpunk game. We have big corporations.
We have a
There are
virus.
very bad things that are going on in this
Yeah.
world. But the whole story, and as you said earlier, you have hints at the beginning that you are not from this level of the city. So I won't say more, but
Yeah, yeah.
I think the scenario. I didn't talk about that earlier, but I'm not English. I'm a French person, so I work with a contractor to help me write the story. So I wrote the original synopsis, the original scenario, but a professional English writer helped me finish and write in good English all the dialogues and so I think the story is really deep and have a lot of potential to interest the player if you are if you have the will to invest in it and it's some kind of it's pretty much like a movie scenario,
Yeah.
so it's really enjoyable. I think it will be really enjoyable.
Is in your plans eventually to release the game also on consoles?
Yes, if I mean, it's pretty much the same discussion. See, if I have a publisher that would help me finance it, of course, I would love to put this game on multiple consoles. And I also thought doing a Kickstarter. I already have a Kickstarter page that is ready, but I'm not quite ready yet to
Yeah,
open the campaign yet because I want to see a little bit where I go in terms of funding before.
yeah.
But the other way would be to finance it with a Kickstarter.
I know I've been forgetting to ask this to the majority of the developers that have been in the streaming sessions with me, but have you had the opportunity to check in the B2B side of IndieX?
Not yet because I was really a lot very busy this week. But I did this quite a few times in other events before at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
So I could meet some publisher, but like I said earlier, I'm not focusing too much right now on finding right now the publisher because I want to polish a bit my prototype and fix what we talked about earlier on the AI side, the enemies and some little bugs that are still occurring in this demo. And but after that, I will be more on the B2B side and talk with more publishers.
from the roadmap you currently have for the development of Affectus, how many more months do you see in your way in different scenarios? The first one where you have to finish the game by yourself like you're doing in this moment, or the
Yeah,
possibility of adding more people to the team to
yeah,
accelerate the release?
yeah. So see, if I have funding for the game will be, I think, will be ready by the end of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So one more year, and maybe we will postpone a little bit the release because the end of the year is the triple A months. So I don't want to compete with triple A games, but so maybe very early 2023.
Yeah.
And if I have to continue it alone, I think it will be mid 2023 or by the end of 2023.
Especially
But I
because
will have to ask myself if I can finish
yeah,
the game and financially.
especially because 2022 is already looking pretty crammed. Just looking at into triple A's, everyone is going to
Yeah,
release their games in the next year, so it's not gonna be a nice year to compete with the big guns.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if
But
anyone. Ben, please go ahead.
but the game won't be as expensive as a triple A. It will be
Fact.
like I don't know for sure, but it will be maybe $13 or $15 maximum for a 4 hours plus 2 hours game. So uh, I can't compete with the in terms of content, but maybe in terms of price.
Yeah, yeah, and it will be a more narrative focused game, so you know
Yeah,
already that there is a market for this, and people that are willing to dive into good indie games with strong story. Uh, in this moment, could you have the distancing enough to look at your game and say that the game is more balanced towards the narrative or more balanced towards the action? What do you feel in this
Yeah.
moment?
Actually, it's more balance on the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I want to change that. Like I said, I want to make it pretty even,
Okay.
and also that if you want a full narrative, you can. But if you don't want, you just want to the basic main story, you will be also able to enjoy the gameplay of the game, which is inspired by I don't know, like Metal Gear Solid. It's pretty stealthy action gameplay. So if I can find a way to have a good AI and make the infiltration that fight enjoyable too, it will be more balanced.
And since this is a pretty narrative game, there has been a discussion, especially around AAA games, for the
Mhm.
possibility of having a more or a less challenging mode for players that only like to play and dive into the story and not the
Mhm.
action. Do you think it might be a possibility for Affectus, for example, for dumbing
Mhm.
down a bit the AI on the final version?
Uh, it could be that the current AI is the easy mode.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
uh,
I was actually
but
going to say that, but I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
want
yeah.
to. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
It,
the easy and dumb mode because you just have to hide and they forget about you pretty
yeah.
quickly.
They
I
all
don't know.
maybe it's a side effect of Affectus. They all get
Yeah,
Alzheimer's or something like short-term memory
yeah,
loss. Uh,
maybe that
yeah,
that could be it.
yeah, but
I
I was joking, but the fact is, for someone that really likes to go heavy on the story, this
yeah,
easier AI might be a way for them to skim
that could be
through
an
all the
idea.
text, especially because in these two different kinds of players, maybe the ones that like to play the narrative side are the ones that might be invested to play it two or three times to get all the endings.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think it could be a solution, but as the game won't be very long, I have to think also that it has to be also a little bit challenging
Yeah.
because when I say stealth action RPG, players a good part of the players have some expectations. They want some stealth action and they want some challenge also. So I don't know if I will have the budget to do multiple levels of difficulty, but if I can, of course, maybe I can plan the AI to be a little bit less, or maybe I can just keep my this part of the code and and make a new part of the code which is more challenging. But thank you for the idea. I will think about it.
And we had a small puzzle ish, like if since I didn't convince the robot to let me through, I had to go
Mhm.
through the through the ceiling, and I had to get my crowbar. Will you have more of these opportunities, like puzzle moments in
Yeah.
Affectus?
Yeah, in every mission, you will have different ways to get in the place where you have to do the mission, and uh, inside each building or mission place, you will have different ways to get to the objective, and the puzzle part um, is planned, and so currently this puzzle is not hacking. It's more like a social hacking method, but you will also be able to have implants that allows you to make real hacking.
Yeah,
I don't plan to make a hacking mini game because it will be too much. The game scope is already quite large, but you will be also able to hack doors, computers, get information, so you could finish your mission differently.
pretty good.
I- it's heavily inspired by Deus Ex on this part.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
To be
yeah.
quite honest, that's what I like in Deus Ex, uh, the liberty the choices you have to finish your mission.
Like you have this, it's like a playground. I always loved it because it reminded me of I played a lot of pen and paper RPGs. Shadowrun was one of the games I played a few years ago, and I loved that kind of freedom. You
Yeah,
have this universe or these capacities, and the way you solve things is completely from your imagination. In this case, with the possibilities that the game give you. So yeah,
mm,
it's pretty good. Valentin,
thanks.
I think we're running out of time. It was a
Yeah,
really huge pleasure to having
for me
Affectus
too.
as one of our 50 finalists.
Thank you very
I
much.
I was really surprised a few minutes ago in the beginning of the streaming session when you told us that you were doing this by yourself. I wouldn't guess. The game looks really awesome. I think it has
Thank you.
huge potential, like Seixas was saying in our chat, that everybody easily gets their eye caught by the ambience the game has. And if in the future maybe someone asks you why are you going low poly, you could say no, this is purely an art direction, and because it looks really amazing. It looks solid, and I think
Thanks.
it
I'm glad
m-
you like it.
yeah, it makes the world stand out. So we can only wish you the best. We hope to see Affectus and getting information and playing the new versions of Affectus. We're also here to help you and give feedback whenever you need. And we're
Thanks.
yeah. Then again, thanks a lot. Tomorrow will be our award ceremony. So let's see what comes out of it. Um, Valentin, thanks a lot for being with us. For whoever is on that side of the chat, please don't leave because I will be back in 7 minutes for another streaming session of this last day of live sessions of
Yeah.
IndieX 2021. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Valentin, thank you for being with
Bye
us in
bye.
this hour, and good luck for Affectus. We hope you can get
Thanks a lot. Good
a
luck
good
for
deal and a
the
good
rest of
publisher.
the event.
Thank you. See you all in a few minutes.